Bror Fredrik coming at you with another episode of Hey Bror Fredrik. It is Wednesday morning, November 11th, 42 degrees at 7 a.m. We're going to take a little strip cruise while we go through this episode. This episode is based on the live that I did yesterday. So many people asked me to expound upon it, and I certainly will do it. And what I discussed in that video, that live video yesterday, was why progressive slot machines suck. And I'll cover that in more detail right now. For those of you new to the channel, again, my name's Bror Fredrik, local Las Vegas-based photographer, videographer, cinematographer, and part-time philosopher. And we're gonna get into this subject right after this. So why do I say that progressive slot machines suck? Which they do. Because progressive slot machines, they are what's called a volatile machine. Now, you can have a machine, most machines in this town are set, well, on the strip at least, are set anywhere from 92% to 96% in the arcade styles. Some slot machines pay slightly more. Video poker sometimes pays slightly more if you watch for the right machine. But progressives, which more and more machines in town are leaning towards the progressive style arcade jackpot. Now, these machines are highly volatile. Yes, they could be, we're gonna round it to 95%. Yes, it could be a 95% machine, but here's the problem with progressives. What happens with progressives is they sort of trick you into the idea of chasing that progressive. I cannot tell you the amount of times I hear people in my travels, because I'm in these casinos all the time, oh, look how high that progressive is. Look how high that grand is. Look how high that minor is. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna sit down at this machine because it's ready to pay. That's absolute bunk, number one. Just because a machine has been sucking money for 6 months from everyone doesn't mean it's gonna pay you off. And yes, before you go in the comments and say, well, I know someone who hit a big progressive. Yeah, I hit a big progressive. Yeah, big progressive. Yeah, of course, I've hit big progressives too, but the thing is, how a progressive machine is geared, yes, they will pay off at 96%, but how they're set up is there's either a higher cost, and I'll give you an example in a minute, or they're so geared towards the progressive that there's not significant line pays to keep you in the game. So you are going to be continually reaching in your pocket, chasing and chasing and chasing. If you find a progressive that does do line hits, which is very rare, but I'll give you an example of one, what happens is the line hits keep you in the game, and the average progressive machine does not keep you in the game. It doesn't entertain you. You will not sit down there long enough to have fun. You will constantly be putting money in this thing, chasing a progressive. And the progressives are so top heavily weighted that, like I said, there are no line pays to keep you playing. So you put your $100 in this machine. Now, in the line pay category, even though the machine's a 95%, in the line pay category, it could be a 60% on the line pay. That means for every dollar you're putting in, it's whacking 40%. And then you put that 60 cents you have left over, or the $60, but it's 60 cents, it gets whacked another 40%. That's how percentages work on these machines, all machines, and that's a topic for another conversation. But let me just summarize it by saying, just because a machine's 95% payback doesn't mean that you're gonna sit down with $100 and you're gonna expect to walk away with $95. It doesn't work like that, because you put $1 in, it gives you back theoretically 99 cents. You put the 99 cents in there, it takes 5% of that. You're down to 90 cents. You put the 90 cents in there, you're down to 88 cents. You see how that works? So it slowly eats each time you press that button. So just because it's 95% doesn't mean you're getting 95% of your money back. Now, in the long haul, that's what the machine pays. But these progressives, what they do, they set them to 95%, of course, but that 95%, the gap that it closes between it paying, check it out, we're already at the Las Vegas sign. I think we'll spin around after this and head north. So the line hit aspect, the standard play aspect of this game could be 60%. It could be 70%. It's just absolutely horrendous. No fun, no joy, no love. It closes the gap by awarding some lucky player a grand. You know, the grand jackpot or whatever. And yes, we've all heard stories of someone hitting that 12,000. I've seen it. I've absolutely seen it, but that is a rare occasion. And that's how it stays at 95%. It closes the gap by giving away that big jackpot. But if you remove that large jackpot, that machine is the worst paying machine in the casino. So it's highly volatile. So if you're tempted to sit there and chase progressives, you're basically paying for your own jackpot. And most of the time when you hit these progressives, it's either the mini or the minor, which is far less. So each time you place a bet, it's going, part of your bet, part of the bet that you're playing is going right back into these progressives. Whereas the machine, a standard non-progressive machine, yes, it's just continually raking all the bets, and that's how the house is making the money. Where these machines, you're actually paying for your own bonuses. So when you sit there and chase, you know you're just crossing your fingers hoping you hit the major or the grand, because those are the only ones that pay. So you're into a machine for, $200, $300, $500, and it gives you a mini for $15.37. And watch the progressives as you play. Each time you press the button with your bet amount, it's going up a penny. So you're watching your own money go into these progressives, and then if you're lucky enough, it gives it back to you. And you're just chasing that progressive. So if you don't hit that progressive, you are playing the worst percentage machine in the casino, and you're basically buying your own progressive, because the chances of you hitting that grand jackpot or that major jackpot are nil. So it's just sucking away your money. And I'll give you an example right here with a machine that I'm familiar with. I like the Buffalo machines. Now, they have your standard Buffalo machine that has a minimum of 60-cent bet. So you put your money in this Buffalo machine, and yes, you are playing for bonuses too, but the machine at 60 cents all the way up to, there's some that you can go to $75 a spin. It does line hits. There's continual line hits that keep you in the game. So the game is not progressively weighted. So there is a chance for a large line hit. There's medium, there's small, there's payback as you go. Now these progressives have them too. They can't just hose you down the entire time, but they're never large enough or substantial enough to keep you in the game. You will constantly be reaching into your pocket. So with this, going back to the example with the Buffalo game, you put your money in, and it's giving you back along the way. It's keeping you in the game. It's not just press after press after press after press with nothing, hoping that you hit this bonus. The bonus is exactly that. It's a bonus. I've hit huge line hits on non-progressive Buffalo machines, huge line hits, and a lot of medium ones that extend my play and extend my opportunity until I get to a bonus. And I've hit enough line hits to walk away right there and then as well. Now you take that same exact Buffalo machine on the Progressive. The minimum bet is 75 cents, say on Buffalo Revolution. It's 75 cents, 15 cents more, 25% more than the 60 cents a non-progressive pays. So where is that 15 cents going? It's going into the kitty of the Progressive. You're paying yourself. Here's the kick in the nads. There is line payoffs, but you're paying a premium because 15 cents is going into the Progressive that you're paying. But the real kick is that the line hits pay exactly the same. So on the machine that's non-progressive at 60 cents, say you hit 2 Buffaloes, that's 50 cents. So you get a substantial portion of your bet back on that spin. With the progressive version of that machine, it still pays you. You're betting the 75 cents, but you're getting the same payoff at 50 cents. So it's not keeping you in the game as long because it's taking that additional 50 cents, and as you increase your bet, proportionally it goes up as well. You're getting the same amount of payback, but you're paying a premium to play this game, hoping you get a progressive. And the progressives are few and far in between. Yes, you can still hit bonuses. Yes, they still pay the same, but you've paid more for the same amount of payback. And that is why I'm gonna say, and I'll repeat again, progressive machines suck. Unless you're really in it for the thrill of the possibility of winning $1,000. And let me tell you something, I've won way over $1,000 on a standard Buffalo machine at a 60-cent bet. I can prove it. Go look in the community tab. I've showed that. I've shown tickets. I've shown screenshots of these screens. And then you play the progressive, and you're hoping for the same $1,000, and you're willing to pay a premium to do it, and you're basically gonna suck the enjoyment out of playing the game, because that $100 will be gone before the cocktail waitress brings you your first drink, because it's so heavily geared towards the jackpot, and the chance of hitting it is nil. Just because you see it high, oh, I'm gonna sit down and play, it's up to 12.5, you know, that might not hit for 6 months. It legitimately, there's no time limit on when this thing is supposed to pay back. Wow, I just got sprayed on my windshield. Forgive the windshield wipers. What the heck was that? Anyway, so there's no time limit. There's nothing to say that it's gonna happen this week. There's nothing to say it's gonna happen next week or next year. It might just keep sucking your money, sucking the money, and sucking the money. So everyone who sat down was basically a sucker waiting to hit that progressive. Now, you might be the absolute lucky one that hits it, and that makes for a great Vegas story, but you know, that is, I mean, it's all luck, but that's truly hitting one of the big grand jackpots, those 10,000s, 12,000s, 15,000s that you hear, they're anomalies. Same with hitting like megabucks, which is currently up to $15 million. That is absolutely an anomaly if you happen to hit it. Makes for a great story. We all know someone who did, but the average person who sits down at one of those machines has an absolute miserable time because there's no line hits whatsoever involved in these machines that keep you in the game. The only thing keeping you in a progressive slot machine is the depth of your bankroll. So unless you have a huge bankroll, stay the heck away from progressive machines. And that's my advice. And I'm going to hit you with a little bonus right now, and I'm going to actually start keeping tabs on things like this. I am going to tell you right now what the worst machine that I've seen, one of the absolute worst offenders that I've seen, and I'll explain why when I do a roundup of all these machines, but the worst machine right now, and I'm going to recommend all of Bror Nation to just stay the heck away from this machine, is called dancing drums. Stay away from dancing drums. It is one of the most heavily progressive weighted machines I've ever seen. We're talking next to no line hits whatsoever. When you do get this bonus, which is so psychologically geared to get inside your mind to keep dropping money and keep dropping money. Oh, I'm so close, I'm so close. It's one of the most manipulative piece of crap machines I've ever seen. And I'm not saying this because I've lost heavy or anything like that. It's not an axe to grind thing. It's just one of the most manipulative, psychologically manipulative games that I've ever seen. And as far as payback goes, there's just no payback. Someone is gonna hit that $10,000 or $12,000 grand someday, but it ain't gonna be you. So stay far away from a game called Dancing Drums. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Hey Bror Fredrik. If you have any suggestions for future episodes, just drop them in the comments. If it makes for good content, I'll go ahead and make a video about it. Right now, I'm gonna drop the 9% word of the day. Bam. Stick that in the comments. Again, it'll let me know that you stuck around to the very end. If you want to support the channel, there's all sorts of links below to Patreon. You can become a channel member. You can find the Bror Nation Facebook group down there too, and a bunch of products that I recommend and personally use. Everything from underwear to aftershave for the men, some stuff for the ladies too, and a list of all my video gear, because everyone says they love the videos, and a lot of it has to do with my own skill, and some of it has to do with the gear. So if you want to check out the gear, the links are also in the comments below. And I'm gonna cruise downtown a little bit, go see what's going on. Hope everyone has an absolutely wonderful day. And on that note, Bror Fredrik out.